Well, it happened. Travis Gafford just mentioned that Immortals are leaving and NRG are leaving. So not 100 Thieves. Now there are rumors about what's going to happen to 100 Thieves. I'm not going to address them because I'm not going to be the one exposing them. They're all over the internet. So it's not like I'm bringing this up. I've seen multiple people talk about it publicly. So yeah, I'm not going to necessarily comment on what's going to happen with 100 Thieves or any other of the other teams. But what we do know is, according to Travis Gafford, which I would probably say is probably true, um, Immortals are gone, and so is NRG. And a lot of people are very sad about NRG, or very confused, because NRG are one of the teams that felt like they were dedicated, like they were taking a dying CLG and they were going to reinvigorate them. They won as soon as they came back, and they were supposed to be like this team that was the opposite of what CLG was when they left, when CLG got Bud Light aced. And a lot of people are not happy. Like, why would you join the league for 3 splits, 1.5 years, and leave? Right? And people are calling it scummy. People are calling it like, oh, the guy is a snake. He came back, he bought for cheap, and now he's selling when it's a high. We don't know exactly everything. But at the end of the day, like, if it made sense to be in the league right now, I probably assume they would. I think there's a lot of details that we don't have. Like, one, maybe NRG wanted to stay, and the LCS were like, no. Who knows? Right? Immortals, I would assume, if they wanted to stay, Riot would say no. Because they've been a pain, they've been a poison, they have been a leech to this community since they joined. And sorry if you're hearing any background noises. It's just, I'm in a hotel right now, and the Wi-Fi really sucks. I would prefer to live stream, but can't, unfortunately. So I'm just doing this, pretty much right after I heard the news. I tried to download OBS. It took like literally an hour of downloading because the Wi-Fi is so bad. And yeah, now I'm recording. But yeah, there won't be any editing or anything like that. Hopefully when I move to a different place, I'll have better Wi-Fi, and I do want to do some live streams and stuff. But if not, it'll just be like videos like these reacting to what's happening, because we're gonna get a lot of news. I was suspecting that we would hear after LCS finals. A lot of people were saying Monday is when we're gonna hear like what teams are staying versus what teams are leaving. We didn't hear anything Monday. Today is Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, and we heard. But yeah, I just want to touch a little bit more on NRG. NRG earlier this year had, I don't want to call it a scandal, but they had this thing where, sure, they were exposed for view botting, right? And I was asked about that, and I basically, my response was like, my guess is NRG cutting budgets, right? Also, another thing, people are like, oh, NRG like got rid of all their staff, and like after they won, now they're just like coasting, and like they were the opposite of everything they did. I don't think that's true. I think NRG underperformed, but I think that's on the players more than on the coaching staff, more than it is on what like management did. Sure, they got rid of Jonathan, they got rid of a few people that like were fan favorites, but at the end of the day, like their coaching staff decreased by one person, right? Actual coaches, if I'm not mistaken, it was like one less coach. But like Soaz is still there, Apollo is still there, like. Yeah, at the end of the day, they got rid of 2 coaches and then brought in 1. So I don't think it was like that big of a deal when it comes to the actual players. Like the Palafox played like trash, right? Most of the year. And he admits it was his worst performance he's ever shown. Even back on FlyQuest, he had better performances. So it's not like I would say upper management were like, oh, we don't care anymore, we won. I think they still wanted to, and then they saw the results, and like the results sucked. But it's not like that team didn't make sense, right? You like side graded or even slightly downgraded Huhi, but that doesn't mean go from 1st to 6th, right? But unfortunately, that's what happened. So, yeah, it sucks for NRG fans. I know Paul, who's a co-host of the Crossover podcast. He's probably going to be very sad. He was a TSM fan. TSM left. Now he's an NRG fan, and NRG left, so he's probably quite sad. But I think that it's a little bit more. I don't think it's as clear. Like, I don't know that they wanted to leave to begin with. But back to the point that I was making about their content. Yeah, they were view botting, right? So my explanation was like, it's one of 2 things. One, they don't actually care, right? So whoever's like responsible is going out there and being like, we're making content because we have to make content because it's part of like what upper management wants, and we're going to show them the views, but we don't actually care, right? And it's like gross negligence by whoever hired or whoever's like keeping track of this stuff. Not, I wouldn't say gross negligence actually, but like clearly there was a wrong hiring somewhere along the way. My second, and probably the one I think might be a little bit more accurate, but again, I have no insider information. I didn't talk to any of the NRG guys. Is that the content wasn't doing well? Because I'll be honest, like some of their content. Okay, I'll just give this example. I've said it on stream before, but I'll say it very quickly. They posted a video and I looked at it and I looked at the thumbnail and title and then I clicked on the video and I watched the first few seconds and I was like, this video is so bad. Like, I'm going to go on the NRG Discord and message the people who made it, because like with a few tweaks it could be so much better. You could 10 times the amount of viewership. And I forgot about it because it's NRG. I was like, I don't want to be rude. I've never talked to them before. Whatever. Then 3 days later, it shows up again, like 48,000 views or something. And I'm like, man, I didn't think this thing would get 400 views. I am so wrong. Let me open up this video. I'm going to study what they did. Why did the thumbnail, why did the title work? Why did the intro work? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but clearly they know what they're doing because I don't. And then I found out, oh, they're just view botting. And I was like, oh, makes sense. Because like when I saw that, immediately I knew, like, that's not going to work. What they were doing just wasn't going to work on YouTube. And I was right. And my guess was that, like, budgets are being cut. People don't want to lose jobs. You're making content, it's getting 300 views. You're being paid way too much for a single view. You know? It makes no sense. So they're like, okay, what do I do? Let me view bot because it lets me keep my job. You know? So whatever, regardless of whatever it is, I don't think necessarily that NRG was like coasting or like they had a bad roster. Maybe they should have made it change. I think they were confident they could pick it back up. I'd give a championship roster a year. If it doesn't work, you make changes. To think that they left, I don't know what to, like, until we hear a little bit more from either NRG side or the league side, Riot side, it's hard for me to really put a, oh, that was such a dumb move, or oh, I understand why he did that, or oh, like, this makes no sense. Like, I can't really give those reactions. But what I will say about Immortals is good riddance. My God, I have never been so frustrated with like a team in my life, because every time they try to do something good, they follow with 10 bad things and always try to explain to you why what they're doing makes sense and is good for them. Even trying to compare, they tried to compare them firing their head coach, who built this roster that everyone was super excited about and was doing way better than people expected, and they were like, oh, we're just doing what NRG did. Because remember, a while ago, they fired one of their coaches. First of all, it wasn't their head coach, it wasn't even their assistant coach, it was just, anyways, very frustrating. I'm really glad that Immortals are gone. They have burnt so many bridges. Like, when it comes to sponsors, imagine you're Progressive and you're like, look, we want to make a sponsorship. Let's not even say it's 6 figures. Let's say it's a 5 figure. Let's say it's a $50,000 for this year. And you get them a total of, oh, I don't know, maybe like 1,000 views on YouTube, 2,000 views on YouTube to be generous. 2,000 views for $50,000? Are you kidding me? My God. They're just so bad at what they do. And I'm not even like blaming the players or the people who are making the videos. I'm blaming management 100%. They are moving in opposite directions. Clearly they don't know what they're doing. Whoever they're hiring, either A, doesn't know what they're doing, they're bad hires, or B, they're being hired and then not given the resources, or being micromanaged. So let's say you hire a really good editor and you're like, no, this is the type of video we want, and he's like, but I can make banger videos. I have these awesome content ideas. And it's like, yeah, but we want these content ideas, right? Because like back at my corporate job in 1997, this is the type of video we did for a car commercial. So we want you to make a commercial just like that, or we want you to make a video just like that. Anyways, their thumbnails are bad, their titles are bad, their videos are bad, their intros are bad, they're like sponsorships, everything. Their delivers every single thing about the management of this company. Their roster moves year after year after year made no sense. They finally decided, we're going to dedicate 2 years to building a roster. We're going to sign a coach who historically has done really good in these situations. We're really excited for this project, and then you kick him halfway through and you put up even worse performances. Whew. Okay. TLDR, I'm happy Immortals are gone. Makes complete sense. I don't know what this means. Before I pass judgment on whether it makes sense to me that NRG left or not, I'm going to wait until A, we find out what else about these rumors are true or not, how many other teams are leaving, or like what exactly is happening, and then B, like, any sort of statement from NRG being like, these are the reasons, like, thank you so much, we would love to stay, but Riot said no, or but our visions didn't align, or like we actually, like, for 1.5 years it was a lot more difficult than we thought, oh, whatever it is. I just want to hear something, and I really hope I hear it. Yeah, I will see you guys later.